So chickpea, sweet potato and spinach curry. The first thing to do is to make the curry paste, which is actually a fantastic paste for all types of curry. And you can freeze it down as well, which is great. The first thing to do, take a hot pan, mustard seeds, allow them to toast. Okay, as soon as they crackle, you can add the next bit. In the meantime, prep some onion. Okay, so sliced onion like this. Just turn it on the length. Medium fine. So we've currently got a dry pan. They're just starting to bounce around in the pan, so ready for some oil. And quite a bit of oil actually. Onions on top. And it's really important actually, one of the most important parts of this recipe is to get plenty of colour on the onions. So really, really caramelised. It requires quite a bit of stirring, otherwise they scorch. Okay. So the secret to the success of the flavour here is in the colour of the onions. So you can't take a shortcut on that. In the meantime, grate plenty of garlic. And if you have fresh ginger, the same quantity of ginger. So at the moment, there's plenty of steam coming off the onions. That's all the water. As soon as that disappears, they'll start to colour. And that's where you need to stir them to encourage them to caramelise. So spice-wise for this, we've got coriander, which is fragrant. We've got some cracked pepper, turmeric, chili flakes, cumin, which is quite spicy, some brown sugar and some salt. Okay, so fairly classic spices for this. Okay, so at this stage, the onions are really nicely coloured. There's still a little bit of grease, a little bit of fat in the bottom, which is great. In with the garlic and the ginger if you have it. And just cook that out a little bit. Just mix it through before adding the spices, okay? So ideally, you just want to cook the spices out slightly. The pan, you can see here, goes a little bit dry. Just cook them out a little bit before they have a chance to scorch. And then in with tomato. So tinned tomato and also some water. So this is going to be the curry paste, the base of the curry. And you want to cook this down from this kind of brown sauce down to a thick terracotta paste. And it takes about half an hour. So while the curry paste is reducing, you want to prepare some sweet potato. So cut it into thick slices and then into neat cubes. All right, so it's recommended that you cook this just in some boiling salted water, just so that it's cooked through, okay? It's a little bit easier that way than trying to cook it in the curry itself. So the curry paste has reduced by about half. It's nice and thick and slightly greasy on the top, okay? Those are the signs that tell you that it's ready. So this is the stage where you want to add, if you're using it, coconut milk. If you don't want to use that, you can use some stock, if you prefer it to be less rich. We're also going to add the juice of half a lemon. And this is also the stage, if you weren't going to make it a vegetarian curry, you could add some pork shoulder, some lamb leg, some chicken thighs, anything like that. But it's a perfectly good curry without meat. It's actually extremely tasty without meat. So this is the curry sauce, essentially. In with the chickpeas. Ordinarily, you cook these for about 20 minutes. They can be a little bit chalky if they're not cooked through. They're from a tin, so they are essentially cooked. Assuming that's done, the sweet potato goes in right at the last minute, so about 5 minutes towards the end. And then a good quantity of garam masala. So this is, cinnamon, cloves, lovely fragrant spice that's often added right at the end just to maximise the fragrance of it. Stir that through. So most of the spices have been cooked out. The garam masala is added right at the end. And then bring this up to the boil. We're going to add plenty of fresh, washed spinach. With the spinach, it's really important that you don't, cook it too much. You want to just really fold it through. Switch over to this one. Fold it through so it's just slightly wilted. Okay, and it's now ready to plate up.